Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, or welcome.
I'm Erin Bowe.
And I'm Kenny Page.
And we are Potty Mouth. We've got some vacation Reddit stories, worst experiences.
Worst things that happened to you on vacation, worst destination, and vacation spots that totally live up to the hype.
Slay.
We chose this topic because we both are going on vacation to the same destination 5 days apart, not together.
Alex is a loser.
We are going to Tennessee. I'm also a little wee bit crispy from being out in the sun. I was like, I'll get a nice suntan before I go on vacation. Wrong, I'll get a nice sun poisoning.
Damn near.
So, we are going to get started here, and what you guys don't know is that this is also our 18th retake. We've called husbands, we've called friends, we had some technical difficulties that even anyone else was confused about, and then we ended up figuring out on our own with help. We don't talk.
I may or may not have fallen asleep in my
She was over here sleeping. I'm like, Erin, can you tap on your mic? And she's like, and I'm like,
just listen for the snores. Listen for the snores.
What is the worst thing to happen to you on vacation? This is from r/travel on Reddit. Last week, me and my parents took a highly anticipated week-long trip to the Yellowstone and the Great Tetons. We had a great trip, but halfway through the week, I was up all night in the worst pain of my life. I couldn't sleep, was crying, groaning in pain, and pacing. I had a terrible toothache from a filling I got a few years ago that I think was worsened by the elevation change that I am not used to back home. We ended up wasting an entire day in the Great Tetons because I ended up needing a root canal to relieve my tooth pain. Yes, I had to spend most of my day at the dentist getting a root canal on vacation. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. In my case, it's probably the worst thing to happen on vacation yet. What about you? The first comment was, I got detained at a border crossing and then quarantined in an Ebola hospital in Tanzania on suspicion of having Ebola. Spoiler alert, I didn't. That's just imagine
she looks sus.
Just imagine minding your own business and going across the border and they just detain you and you're just taken away and you're like,
this one has Ebola.
Like, Ebola. What?
That's crazy.
What? Oh, this person literally said my mom died halfway through my vacation. That's all that it says. My mom died halfway through my last vacation.
I think they win the
shook. I'm like,
they win the badge.
Don't take us laughing seriously. That's just imagine just enjoying a nice vacation and then
well, didn't that happen to Roman Atwood? His mom died.
I remember, yeah,
a scooter accident.
I remember it happening. My husband and I went to New York on our first vacation as a couple, arriving on September 10th, 2001. I'm going to reread this.
Speechless.
My husband and I went to New York on our first vacation as a couple, arriving on September 10th, 2001. Y'all can figure out what this is about. We went to the financial district that night, but we were too late to ride up the elevator to get the view from the top of the towers. We watched them fall with our friends in New Jersey the next morning.
To be so close to that.
It's crazy because there's been so many, very close to, near-death experiences, which weren't, necessarily near-death to you until you look at it. There were a few times that Alex and I stopped at a gas station to get gas, and then an accident happens at an intersection that we would have gone through if I wouldn't have been like, hey, don't you need to get gas? And then we get flooded with, text messages and phone calls, didn't you just leave, your grandma's house? Are you good? And we're like, yeah, but it literally happened. If we hadn't have gotten gas, it was literally as soon as he got out of the vehicle and started pumping gas, the sirens went off, and I'm like, where? And then I looked, and yeah.
There was something that had happened, and it didn't freak me out until I sat and thought about it, but I can't remember what the was. Couldn't tell you. It's scary.
Oh, yeah.
To be that close to death, or to be like, oh my God, that could have been me, or that should have been me, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's really
for sure.
crazy how that works.
Yeah. I was on day 1 of a 10-day Hawaiian vacation when an old root canal went back. Spent the whole vacation smacked out of my mind on painkillers. I
Slay.
lost entire days.
Oh.
But the winter in Greece was coming back from Greece. I started getting sick on the plane and barely made it off at my layover in Germany before I started throwing up. Somewhere in the airport, I also noticed my makeup bag was gone out of my carry-on. I had my luggage key in it. I struggled to the hotel where I experienced a violent 12-hour stomach flu. I still couldn't get into my luggage, but I did not honestly care because I wanted to croak over. The next day, I headed back to the airport in my only clean clothes, which were my PJs, makeup free, looking exactly like I had been throwing my guts up. Then security picked up my luggage to search, which I still could not open, so I had to check it for a ridiculous additional price. I made it home in my PJs, looking like hell, to find that my luggage did not arrive with me and my car wouldn't start. 0 stars, would not recommend. Greece was amazing, though. That's terrible. That's like, I have never flown before, and that's like one of my, I just have so many fears and so much anxiety about thinking about flying, like losing luggage or like being late for my flight, not knowing where to go, even though like there's a lot of like pointers and people help and everything. I just have so much anxiety even thinking about
the
flying.
flying process itself is not bad, and I've flown only a couple times, but it also gives me immense anxiety. But like when my first flight, I was so worked up. Mind you, I think Jarrett gave me a 24-hour flu, freaking butthole. Anyways, but I was so worked up I literally puked on the plane. I couldn't even.
Oh, no.
I had to burp and it went away, sorry. But I literally did not even get out of my seat. I was on the aisle seat. And mind you, I have such bad anxiety that I just couldn't get up. This is before TMI, but before I kind of was like, I was still really quiet at puking for some reason. I'm not now, but I was then. And I was like, hee hee, you know, like no one heard me. Like so much that like Dawn like didn't realize I was puking until he looked over and was like, I'm like neck deep in a freaking barf bag. And Jarrett's like, he's like aisles back on the right side of the plane. And I'm like, barfing. But that was awful. But like honestly, I love just sitting and not having to do shit. You're just sitting there. You're like able to text, watch a movie, read a book.
I'd be afraid of like falling asleep.
No, that's what gets me through it is sleeping sometimes.
Yeah, like there's so many places that I would like to go, but I also have anxiety about driving long places, like long distances. It's not, like, even if I don't have anxiety about driving, for some reason my blood pressure will get through the roof, and then I get tired because my face is hot, and then I'm just over driving. Like, the longest I've driven by myself was probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You watching?
Yeah, the chair's in the way that I'm like, ugh.
The longest that I've driven was probably 2.5 hours by myself. I was pregnant at the time, and I did not know. I was pregnant with my firstborn. And so I feel like that's probably what traumatized me so bad, because my blood pressure was through the roof. I also got car locked by 3 semi-trucks on the 2-lane. I had one beside me, and I was like, okay, cool, like, I'll speed up, get past them. And the one in front of him got over. And there was one that I saw coming up behind me, and I was, in my car, the turbulence, it was just, like, going like this, and I'm like, today's my day. I'm like, I'm gone. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it to Natalie. I'm not gonna make it there.
My legs would hurt so bad.
Oh my gosh,
after that. There's no way.
That was also the first time that I ever went. Obviously, I went over the speed limit to get through. Finally, the semi-truck in front of me pulled back over because I started getting a little bit closer, but the turbulence was so bad, and he finally got over. But the anxiety of just looking in my rearview mirror to see the semi-truck speeding up behind me, I'm like, are they doing this on purpose? Am I being targeted? And then being pregnant and not knowing my hormones were out of whack and everything, I was like, nope, can't do it. So I hate driving on the highway. I'm better now, but also, like I said, if I drive a long period of time, for some reason my blood pressure gets up, even if I'm not thinking about it. I should probably get blood pressure issues figured out, but it's fine. Husband, now ex, and I were slipped roofies in our drinks at the beach bar in St. Martin.
Oh my God.
My ex wandered off back to the hotel we were staying in and left me with a male stranger who I'm certain was the one who drugged me. I am out of my mind, and this guy and I started making out. Cut to, a couple from Minnesota who had been watching the whole scenario unfold came to my rescue and was like, let's get you back to your hotel. I was able to tell them where I was staying, and they got me safely returned. When I came to the next morning, belongings were missing from my bag, but I at least was alive. I think about that a lot and wonder how I would have ended up if those Minnesotans hadn't intervened. Shout out to them. That's terrifying. This is why I don't go out.
We're gonna need trigger warnings.
We're gonna need trigger warnings.
You go, yep, I'm not reading that. The minute I knew after
quaking in my boots was backpacking in New Zealand with a friend right after college. We were staying in a little beach town, Keikora. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't speak this language. I don't speak New Zealand.
What the
I'm restarting this. Which ended up being the epicenter of a 7.8 earthquake at 12 a.m. one night.
What the I thought me being sick on vacation sucked. These people have it rough.
It shook for what felt like 2 minutes straight. We had to haul ass to the top of the hill due to a tsunami warning. We were frantic and didn't grab warm enough clothes. We sat up there freezing for almost 12 hours. The roads had all cracked and we ended up stranded there for 3 days. There was no service, electricity, or running water. Our hostel owner happened to know someone with a spring, so we got fresh water. He also let us stay the 3 days for free. Super nice dude. We ate food from Red Cross stands and called our families with Wi-Fi at the hospital. People were getting choppered out by priority, elderly, kids, health issues. On the third day, our tour bus company coordinated a chopper out for us to a nearby town and then bused to Christchurch. We immediately called the airlines and changed our tickets to go the hell home the next day. That's terrifying.
That's insane.
Especially because we're both going to Tennessee, and that there have been 2 earthquakes, minor earthquakes, in the last week.
Okay, you know what? Don't remind me. I didn't even know that was happening.
Oh, well, surprise! It was near, I want to say, don't quote me, I want to say it was near Knoxville. There's some earthquakes happening, and everyone's like, they're bombing the underground. Everybody in the comments of this is like, they're making underground tunnels. I'm like, I mean...
That cartoon of, like, SpongeBob and them, like, digging underground with the big digger.
It's fine.
That's what they're doing underneath.
Seems like every time I go on a long vacation, something tragic happens back home. The worst was when I was on an extensive road trip in the Rockies and got a call from my sister that our mom was put on hospice. I immediately left my wife on her own with the rental car, which I was loath to do, and flew home. Fortunately, I made it just in time to thank her and tell her how much I loved her and appreciated how important she was in my life. She smiled, closed her eyes, and never opened them again. I think she was waiting to say goodbye. Fortunately, my wife was fine and enjoyed what was the last 2 days of our vacation. That's sad.
This one. Have you ever heard of the Carnival Triumph disaster in 2013? Well, this person experienced it.
Oh.
I'm trying to see. If you don't know, which I don't know exactly, I think I've heard a hint of it, because I know there's a couple where, like, the ship has, like, had some kind of an issue or something. Oh, this is when there was a fire in the engine room. I went on a 4-day cruise to celebrate my mom's birthday. Got excellent rates out of Galveston. It was cheaper than a B&B in Fredericksburg. The trip was great until we awoke the last day at sea to a weird announcement, and I'm in the to weird announcements over the intercom system. Turns out there was a fire in the engine room, which ended up disabling our ship, leaving only emergency power. So we're on a floating barge in the middle of Gulf of Mexico. It took the cruise line so long to figure out what to do that we ended up drifting so far east that their plans had to change. So they had to send like tugboats from Mexico, and passengers were going crazy. Food was lacking, obviously. No power. People were hoarding crap.
I'm never going on a cruise.
Honestly, it's funny because like I literally always end up getting sick on cruise ships, but it's because I get
motion sickness.
You know what's funny? I actually don't get motion sick on a cruise ship. I get seasick when I get back. I get like, what is that called?
Yeah,
Vertigo.
Vertigo. Yeah.
I get vertigo like a. I get back from vacation. I'm fine the entire trip. Like if I have a migraine, then I kind of like I get a little barfy, but that's it. Like other than that, I can walk amongst the shit. I'm fine. I'm good to go. I can trot around. I'm okay. It's my anxiety that's the problem.
Yeah.
But literally the minute I get back, I am sick as a dog for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Even when I get on elevators, when I get off, I still feel like I'm moving on an elevator. I feel like I'm screwed for a ship.
Because it's hard because everyone's different.
Right.
So it's not like I can be like, oh, well, it's
and
like this for me.
I never had those issues until after I had poot because
your body changes.
My body changed. I could not ride passenger in a car without getting motion sickness. I had to be driving. I could eat mints and chew mint gum, and it helped a little bit. But it was like anytime that I was in passenger, as soon as the car started moving, I'm like, I can't do this. And then once I started getting into elevators, like going up to my appointments and stuff, I was like, as soon as I got off, I just felt like uneasy, and it felt like I was still moving in the elevator. To this day, I still get like that. Sometimes not as bad as others.
I can do movement because I actually love cruise ships. I love, it's still one of my bucket list things is to sleep on a balcony. Because like the sound of the ocean, it's like a big white noise machine. I love it. I love it so much. I love like that's why I don't know what is wrong with me, but like I rock myself to sleep with my legs. I like move myself back and forth, and I rock. If I'm laying on my side, I rock my ass to sleep. So like whenever I'm on a cruise ship, I don't have to do it. Yeah. It's perfect. It's Gorgina. I love it so much.
I just flip flop until I get comfortable, or just watch TV until
I do the little cricket thing with my little feet.
Yeah.
Especially after I shave, I'm like the whole night.
This person broke their nose and got a concussion while ziplining in Costa Rica, and then sprained both their ankles on day 1 of 14-day hiking trip in Guatemala. Swimmer's ear, pink eye, and the flu all at the same time in Panama. My eyes swelled shut. I thought I'd need to be medvaced home. But my tour guide took me to a pharmacy every day to get meds. Was feeling fine a week later. Then the tour ended. On my most recent trip in November, I broke every bone in my wrist on day 2 of my Jordan trip and had to fly home early to get emergency surgery and spend months in rehab and physical therapy. I used to have a travel blog of all the ways I f***ed up and injured myself while traveling. Somebody commented back, maybe you should take up couch potatoing.
Yeah.
Yo, do you have a curse or something?
Have you heard of a staycation? Because that's what you need.
This isn't normal. I think you might need to consider avoiding Central America. Did you smack into a tree? Oh, this person replied back and said, so it's a very funny story. Short version is that this zip line, you wore gardening gloves to stop yourself. You were basically your own brakes. It started raining heavily and you needed both hands to stop. They even said if we didn't stop soon enough, you'd die.
That sounds like a blast.
Going ziplining, but I was filming with my camera hanging from the wrist I hadn't been using to stop, and so when I was going too fast, I put the other hand up and hit myself in the nose with my own camera, and yes, it caught it all on film, knocking me unconscious? What? And making me go quicker. I almost died by smacking into a tree, but I woke up just in time to grab the line, and the guide at the end stood in front of me to shield me. When I came up, blood spewing from my nose, they just shouted, "You signed the waiver! You signed the waiver!"
Okay. Before I hurl.
Imagine.
No more blood stuff, please.
That's just.
Oh my God.
That's.
You signed the waiver. He's like, hey, don't sue me. You did this to yourself.
Like, you signed.
That's
Just saying.
crazy.
Okay, this one is what vacation hotspot totally lives up to the hype? I don't know about you. I know that you like cruises. I am a mountain girl. I like the mountains. I don't particularly love the beach. I don't really like those sort of vacations. I'm more of like in the mountains, love scenery. I would much rather go to like Alaska, see the northern lights,
Ooh.
and Kitty National Park. It is beautiful. I would love to go. It is a lot of driving to get there from here. But I am very much a mountain girly. I like the mountains. I like scenery. I am not big on beaches. I don't think that I would ever go to like California. Florida doesn't sound appealing to me. Like I've been to North Carolina, but not like the beach. I'm very much Tennessee. I wouldn't mind going to like Colorado, maybe.
Colorado's okay.
It's just I don't know. Like I said,
Arizona might be cool.
yeah, I have family in Arizona.
Hmm.
So it's just like I said, I'm not very much of like a beach person. I'm very much like views. Like I
Cheers.
want to just breathe in the mountain air. Um, yeah, and then I know that you like cruises. You also enjoy Tennessee.
Tennessee's like Tennessee is my top
Yeah.
tier. Cruises are only not as appealing anymore because I get such bad vertigo after I get back now. My body has also gotten worse, not because of kids, just because my body hates me. So, like whenever I am adjusting back to being on land, it is the worst thing ever. And let me tell you, like Jarrett booked a cruise before we even officially like agreed to that, and he booked it. And I went, Jared, I'm literally still traumatized. I can't even think about a cruise without wanting to barf right now. I'm like, I don't want to be on a cruise
Like I feel
anytime
like
soon.
if I'm going on vacation, I'm going on vacation not to be like obviously this sounds stupid not to be around a lot of people, but I feel like cruise ships they're very hyped up. Like yeah, you can like lay back, sit on your balcony and stuff, but I feel like I would more enjoy sitting on a balcony in the mountains or like seeing the scenery, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like going to Cades
No,
Cove
that's
and
that's
Clingman's
fair.
Dome. We're going to Grandfather Mountain in North Carolina, and we're going to Pretty Place Chapel, which I can also insert like the pictures. I'm sure that I'll have pictures by then. So excited about that. Those are also Pretty Place Chapel is on my bucket list, and Grandfather Mountain is on my bucket list. And since they're so close to where we're going, I told Alex, I'm like, we're going. We need to go because I unfortunately have only ever been on. I mean, I've been on a couple other vacation. I've been to Cook Forest, but I don't really. I count that as like camping because we were in a cabin. Yes, it was vacation, but it wasn't far enough away from home that I count like a weekend getaway in North Carolina to see some friends. That was a vacation, even though it was a weekend. It was still different state driving, you know. But Tennessee, I went on vacation for our honeymoon. That's where we went. And then I've been to St. Louis and Arkansas, which that was my first vacation ever with my family. Like we saw the Gateway Arch and all of that. And then we visited family in Arkansas. So it was different, but I was with my cousins and everything. Some of these people were saying that Costa Rica is relatively easy to get to from the USA and Canada, reasonable prices, ridiculously clean beaches, and friendly people. Like, I feel like if I were to go to beach, I would want to go somewhere outside of like Florida or something. That would be like the only reason why I would like go to a beach is like a fancy beach getaway, but I'm not like a sitting on the beach. I'm not like a big swimming in the ocean. Like, I don't know. It doesn't itch my brain like seeing the mountains and low clouds and sun shining through the mountain. Like, you know,
Oh yeah, no, I get what you mean.
somebody said Bora Bora. They stayed in huts over the water. It was pretty
Yep.
expensive though.
Yep. That's on my hit list. I want to go there so bad.
Fiji. My wife and I went there on our honeymoon there a few years ago. An absolutely beautiful place with wonderfully nice people. Food wasn't too bad either. Also, might I add, the most beautiful blue and warm water we've ever been in. Which I do think that that would also add to it. Like, if the water was crystal clear or super blue, like something like pretty, I would just like to see it. Just to,
Atlantis.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
We bopped past Atlantis on our first cruise.
I'm sure that would change. Iceland. I feel like Iceland is also Greenland and Iceland. That would be another. I have family in Sweden too, and that's where my mom's side of the family came from.
Oh.
Yes.
I
Sweden.
didn't know that.
I feel like if I went there, see, also part of me is like super scared of. I know that like heavy tourist attraction places, there's people that will speak English, people who know, like, but I'm also afraid of, like, not understanding anything. Like, I know people who have, like, friends who have gone there and they're like, I love it, this and that. I'm like, sounds expensive, and I'd have anxiety of not knowing what people are talking about. Anywhere with the Northern Lights, I really would love to see too. Like,
Yeah.
granted, we've seen the Northern Lights here a couple times, but
It's nothing. Well, you get to see with your eyeballs, though.
Yeah.
I'm too close to my.
I would.
It's not just your camera. Like, you get to see it.
Which, I mean, I got to see it in, was it October with my eyes briefly. Camera obviously makes it better, but I would like to go to Alaska to see it. I don't know where else. Like, they have like the little domes that you can stay in and literally watch them. People are saying Spain. It doesn't get much hype. National parks of North America: Glacier National Park, Yosemite, Banff, Grand Canyon, Sequoia National Park, North Cascade National Park, Mount Rainier National Park. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, like, it seems like anywhere with mountains. Somebody said Ohio. You think you're going to be disappointed when you come here. Oh boy, are you in for a treat. You get exactly what you expect. Oh,
Duct tape
man.
bumpers.
Oh, yeah. People, this one is, what's the worst tourist destination? I'll read a couple of these before we wrap it up. Obviously, people said Hollywood. See, so many people hype up California, but I just feel like it would just be dirty, very overpriced, and everything. Like, of course, that's, like, to be expected, I feel. Like, everybody's like, I want to see the Hollywood sign. Like, of course, when we were little, we're probably like, we want to go to Hollywood. Yeah, no. I have no desire to go to Hollywood, or, like, even, I feel like I'm going to get shit on for this. I also don't feel like I have a desire to go to, like, Disney World or Disneyland. I feel like, okay,
That's fair. Everyone has a right to their own opinion.
I don't know if it's
It
because
may
of,
be
like,
wrong,
the amount
but
of
they
people,
have the right to
yeah.
their own opinion.
Like, yeah, even with kids, like, I don't know. And usually the people that I know that go to Disneyland or Disney World, they go there over and over again, which I get it. But also, I feel like I would get so bored. Like, I know that there's so much more to see, but I just feel like that there's going to be
One
too
trip
many
is
people.
never enough to go to. That's why people have to go over and over again, because
Yeah.
you never get to see the whole
Right.
freaking everything, because
Right.
there's so much. I know for me, I want to go to the Avatar thing.
Like, if I went on a trip, also, it also comes with the anxiety of, like, with it being such a big place, and if I were to bring the kids, like, I would be, like, have them attached to me at all time. Like, I don't know. It's just, I'm not a big being around a million people at once, and plus it being, like, super hot, and all I think of is, like, Florida.
Just go
and I'm
during the
like,
off season.
Yeah. Like, I just don't find any.
I want to go so bad. Haley's not that Haley's gonna take me, but we're gonna go together. And Jared's like, I don't really care.
Like, I also feel like Alex
Okay.
probably also want to go to.
No, God,
That's
no.
why I'm just like, okay, mountains, sit here, sit in the hot tub, look at the mountains, nice weather, just. And then getting to go downtown and walk here. Like, downtown was also a lot for me in Tennessee.
I'm used to
But
it.
also, like, any other tourist attraction place. Like, I don't know.
You can be like Jared and
All
be
the
like,
downtown stuff.
Jared's such a freaking asshole. Because, like, he will sit there and, like, question these poor people that are just trying to sell the timeshares.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, this is why we don't do it anymore, though, too. Because we also just don't have patience for it. But, like, he would, like, question them on things, and they're, like, not expecting him to be, like, a smart ass. And he's, like, saying stuff. I'm like, Jared, just shut up. Like, yeah, it's entertaining to you, but, like, you're making their job so much harder. I'm like,
I feel like that's how Alex would be, too.
they'd be two peas in a pod, freaking ding dongs. Why do I sound like this?
I'm tired.
Like I'm going through puberty.
A lot of these, for the worst tourist attractions in U.S. are saying Hollywood. Hollywood, Walk of Fame, Dirty, Tacky, Overrun.
Vegas.
Somebody said LA. Niagara Falls is pretty cool on its own, but the towns are disasters. That's also, I've never been to Niagara Falls. I've never been on like big vacations. I didn't go anywhere
Niagara
as a
Falls
kid.
is not that big of a vacation.
Well, yeah, but like going on like the little ship and going across like the border into Canada, like the Canada side. Because isn't it like Horseshoe Falls and Niagara Falls? Is that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Niagara Falls is bad. The Rust Belt towns are actually awesome. Cleveland, Buffalo, Pittsburgh are all amazing cities to visit. Great food and good history. Pittsburgh even gives me anxiety.
You know it's a good. You know
Cleveland, Buffalo. I don't know. I'm just not a big city person either.
No. You know it's a good vacation spot.
Where?
When you go to the Macbeth cabins.
Macbeth cabins.
Where you said you went to camp at. Cook's Forest.
Oh, Cook's Forest, yeah.
And then they had there was this one pickle museum thing.
Yes.
Or whatever there.
Yes.
And my one at the time manager like went in to buy stuff for people and bought like these pickle plushies.
Did they smell like pickles?
They smelled like someone poo poo caca in that little. Because they come in those airtight containers of the little pickle person.
Yeah, and
it's you open it, it punches you in the face. I'm like,
hilarious.
So I have a couple pickle like magnets, and then I got Jarrett's shirt that says like stop staring at my pickle or something, and then I got like pickled.
Like the Try My Nuts from Tennessee.
Yes. And then I got like some like flavoring and stuff and like pickle popcorn. We also didn't have any freaking snacks, so I was like, give me some snacks.
And it's all pickled.
Yeah.
My senior class trip, they went to New York City. I had no desire to spend a weekend with the people
Really?
I graduated or go to New York. So I literally sat in my living room and told like a group of friends, I said, all right, I'll be watching from at home. I just expect you to hold up a sign that said like hi Kendall or hi back at home or like whatever. And I'll just watch you from here. Like I have no desire. Like I had no desire of going to New York or going like... I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a city person. It would be cool, like, to go ice skating or, like, something like that, but I don't have a desire. And then I just didn't have a desire of spending a whole entire weekend with people that I already spent all week with. I just felt more anxious. And plus, I feel like it also comes with the fact that I never really went on vacations growing up. Like, I went to Cook Forest a couple times with my aunt and uncle and
You weren't
cousins.
socialized enough?
Trust me, I was socialized, and then I ended up the complete opposite of what I used to be. I used to make friends in the school bathroom in kindergarten. Like, that was just, I would talk to anybody and everyone, and then getting into high school, I just shut everyone out, and I stayed in the art room and everything, and I just kept to myself and didn't care for drama and people, and just, I wanted to just get out of there. But...
It's fair.
Yeah, I think that's where we'll end up leaving off. We wanted to just make a short video. Hopefully we'll come back with some pictures and new experiences in Tennessee, and
I'm so excited.
we can share with everyone. I think, and like how we've been ending the video and telling people to like leave sparkles, leave emojis, leave hearts, whatever. Yeah, leave mountains or tell us your best vacation spot you've been to, your favorite vacation spot, or your worst vacation spot. Give us some recommendations. We also know who watches the videos because if they make it to the end.
Yeah, Jarrett. You said you watched the videos.
There's been so many
I didn't see no twinkle.
There's so many people that are like, I watched the video. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Did you?
Just kidding. We don't give a
I
shit.
literally don't care.
We don't care. You
Do what you want to do.
With that being said, that was our Reddit stories, and this will be a Friday video. Well, thank you for watching. Leave the comment of your favorite vacation spot, worst vacation spot, experiences, anything, and we will see you on the next one.
Yep. See
All right,
ya.
bye.
Bye.